Hello, grade 11 and 12 English class. I'm going to go over the requirements for the Hamlet essay. They are what I've already sent you in the document last week, but I'm going to read through it with you, and maybe this is an easier way for you to understand. Okay, so if you want to follow along with me, I'm looking at the Hamlet essay document. It says, write an essay about one of the following topics by referring to and quoting the play. Number 1. Does Hamlet fake being insane? And if so, why? Or is he actually crazy? So if you chose this topic, you would take a clear stand on whether you thought he was actually insane or whether you thought he is faking. You could also make some other kind of claim, like he is going a little bit crazy, but he plays that up to his advantage. But you have to make some clear claim. You can't say he's kind of both. Like you have to have a clear something that you're arguing. Okay, number 2. Why is Hamlet considered one of the greatest characters in literature? So Hamlet is considered one of the most complex and interesting and well-written, best created characters in literature ever, and people really respect Shakespeare for the way he made Hamlet such a complex and interesting character. If you think about how characters could be really flat characters or two-dimensional characters, they just, you have a character that's, whenever they come on stage or something, they always say, does anyone have any cookies? I'm really hungry. And they don't have any kind of personality. They're just the sidekick who likes to eat. Or they always make the same stupid jokes. Or they're always chasing boys or something. Hamlet's not one of these kinds of characters. He's an incredibly complex, round character, and he's not easy to figure out. So you could look at that question and go through Hamlet's character and show how he's complex, what makes him so interesting, what makes him hard to figure out, and why is he one of the greatest characters. So that's a really interesting question as well. Number 3, how are women portrayed in Hamlet, and how are they treated by men in the story? This is a really interesting question as well, because so much of the women's behavior seems to be what really drives Hamlet over the edge, because even though things are started because of the murder of his father, it's not really his father that he seems to be most upset about. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but it seems like he's most upset by his mother's behavior after his father's death, and he's upset about Ophelia's behavior. And so Hamlet is really affected by their behavior. So how are women portrayed? Are they portrayed as evil? Are they portrayed as not being able to make their own choices? And how do the men treat them? So this is a very, very interesting topic that you could do a lot with. Okay, so I just want to remind you, do not summarize the play. So don't write in your essay, Hamlet does this, and then this happens, and this happens. You don't need to summarize the play, and it's really a waste of words to do that. So you really don't want to do that. You want to write the essay imagining that I'm the one reading it, because I'm going to read it, and you remember that I know the play well, and I don't need you to explain basic details about the storyline. So you might think, oh, will she know what I'm referring to? Yes, you don't have to put in all the extra details. So you can say, when Rosencrantz and Guildenstern show up, they're his old friends and blah, blah, blah. You can just get right into it. You don't need to put in a lot of details, or you don't need to explain backstory for things, because I know those already. So don't worry about making it jumping right into your point. It's okay to jump right into your point. You don't have to explain everything. So what you're trying to do, you're not trying to summarize the play. You're trying to make an argument about the question that you've chosen, and you're going to refer to the play, to specific points in the play to prove your point. So if you were saying, does Hamlet fake being insane? And you said yes, you could say, for example, when he speaks to Polonius, he does this, and when he does this. And so you don't have to put a lot of background into that. You just want to make your points pretty clearly. And you want to be careful not to waste words, because this might seem like a lot of words to you, but it's really not. And if you know what you want to say and you have a point and you care about this topic in any way, like if you've read through the play and you understand this topic well enough, you'll fill these words in really quickly. So for the grade 11s, the essay must be between 1,000 and 1,250 words. Grade 12s, the essay must be between 1,250 and 1,500 words. So if you are below or above these caps, then that will be, you will lose points for that. So don't think that making it really long is better. It's important to be able to fit within that time frame or the word count. Okay, so the format is the same format as is always required for an essay, which is that you have an introduction, you have a body, and you have a conclusion. So your introduction is going to be one paragraph. You're just going to introduce the topic. So if you're doing, is Hamlet considered one of the greatest characters in literature, you could introduce it by saying, Shakespeare's Hamlet is considered one of the greatest characters in literature. He's been called this, he's been called that. You could throw a couple quotes in there from people on what they've said about Hamlet, as long as you reference them. And then could talk about just what is it exactly about Hamlet that is so compelling. And then you have to, so you introduce that, and then you want to have your main argument in one thesis statement. And I'll go over that more another day about how to write a good thesis statement. But you want a one sentence statement that clearly says what it is that you are arguing. And it has to be interesting. It has to be debatable. So you can't say something like, for number 2, for example, you don't want to say, Hamlet is a really great character. That's not a good thesis statement, because it's not debatable. It's not very interesting, and it's something that pretty much anyone would agree with. So you want to say something like, Hamlet is considered one of the greatest characters in literature because of his blah, 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 blah. You want to give some examples. Don't worry about it being too long. It's okay if it's a long sentence. And it can sound a little awkward. I like, when I write an essay, I like to have 3 points that I'm making in that sentence, because then it makes your essay really nice to write, so that when you get to your body, you could have 3 main points. So if you said, I'm just going to make this up, so don't use this. Hamlet is one of the greatest characters in literature because he's really funny, handsome, and smart. Okay? Don't use that. So then your first paragraph of your body, you'd say, Hamlet is really funny, and then you'd give a lot of examples proving that. And then you go to your next paragraph. Hamlet is very handsome. He's tall and handsome, or he's short and handsome, blah, 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 whatever. And then the third one, he's, what did I say? Funny, handsome, and smart. He's really smart, and then you'd prove that, and then you'd get to your conclusion. So I would recommend writing a thesis statement where you have your 3 points right in your statement, and then that helps you organize your essay really nicely. So anyway, I will make another video more about a thesis statement, but for now, that's what you do for your introduction. You introduce your topic, and then you have one sentence thesis statement, which is at the end of the paragraph. And then a body of the body of the essay should be several paragraphs, so at least 3 paragraphs, but it can be more. And in each one, you're offering a separate point or a separate aspect to your argument. And you're trying to argue, and you're offering proof, and you're trying to convince your reader that your opinion is the correct one. Okay, and then for your conclusion, it's a short 1 paragraph, so even shorter than your introduction, and you're going to wrap up your points briefly. You're not going to offer any new proof or evidence. You just want to summarize pretty quickly what you've said and finish off with something convincing. Okay, so what you're graded on is the logic of your ideas and arguments. So does it make sense what you're saying, is it convincing? Is it a reasonable thing to argue, and are you proving it well? Okay, then, so that's one aspect. You will be graded on the quality of your writing. So are you using good vocabulary? Does it flow nicely the way you've written it? And is it interesting to read? Is it enjoyable for someone to read it? And I like reading essays, so it probably will be enjoyable for me to read. Okay, and mechanics, so that means like your grammar, your punctuation, your spelling, and proper MLA referencing. So you don't have to look up any sources, or you don't have to reference anything other than the play, but if you do, if you refer to anything, if you got any ideas from online sources, you have to reference these using MLA format, whether you're quoting them or whether you've paraphrased them. So whether you read something online and then you changed the words totally, you still have to reference those because you took that idea from someone else, even if you've changed every single word. That's someone else's idea, and you can't take it without telling your readers where you got that idea from. Okay, and then I have a link there for how to look up, a link for how to do MLA formatting, and if that seems, it's very easy. I'm not going to be strict about your actual formatting, but I am going to be very strict on references. So if you're referencing things, if you're taking ideas from other places without referencing them, then I will be strict on that. And it's very easy for me to tell if you've gotten ideas from the websites, because I know Hamlet really well. I know the kinds of things students say, and I know the kinds of things that websites say. So just if I were you, I would either not look at websites at all, just do your own ideas from the play, or I would make sure that I referenced absolutely everything that I looked at. Okay. Okay, and then I have something new here that I just added. So where it says edit, I want your topic choice by Friday, May 15th. And so I want you to tell me whether you're doing number 1, 2, or 3, and you cannot switch topics beyond this date. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you leave it till the last couple days to decide which topic you're doing, you will be going back and forth, thinking, oh, do I have enough on this? Do I have enough on this? And you'll waste a lot of time deciding on your topic when you really should just be writing your essay. So my hope is that if you pick your topic by Friday, it forces you to think about the essay, and then you won't have to second guess your choice. You have to stick with that topic. I won't accept an essay on any other topic. So by Friday, you tell me your topic, okay? If there's a problem with that, let me know. We can talk. I can be flexible on that, but I would like to know by Friday, and if I don't hear from you by then I'll be contacting you to find out which topic you would like to do. Okay, so the first draft is due May 26th. This is not mandatory, it's optional, so you can do this if you want to. I would highly recommend it because if you submit your first draft, then I can edit it for you and help you get it to a really good place. And if it's really good, then you can just be done. So I would recommend doing that, or at least aiming for that, trying to get it to a good point for May 26th, and then you still have over a week before the final essay is due on June 5th. Okay, so all right, so that is that for the Hamlet essay, and this is a major assignment for this term, obviously. And yeah, so let me know if you have questions about that, and I will be posting more videos on how to write a thesis and how to organize things, and giving you lots of time to work on that. So thanks for watching.